Howdy Pirates, I'm coming to you across the seas from another game that Grey Havens takes care of, Spiral Knights. If you don't know who I am, not that I really expect anyone to know, I'm Ariave. I make YouTube videos and stream on Twitch covering Spiral Knights. Jazz has invited me on to be part of this charity event as a way to have some more cross-pollination between the games of Puzzle Pirates and Spiral Knights. So what I thought I might take you guys through today, it might be interesting, is just a little bit of a showcase of what Spiral Knights is about, and then going through some of the more recent updates that the game has been receiving over the past few years. So I don't really know what everyone's experience is with this game. I'm assuming you're probably similar to me, at least for my experience playing Puzzle Pirates. I've really only logged in maybe once in that game. I've seen some things online, maybe some videos and that sort of thing, but I haven't really played the game or know too much about it. Obviously, you can see here there's a little bit of a community in this game as well. It's definitely one of those things where I think both games, Puzzle Pirates and Spiral Knights, they definitely strike me as games that have a very sort of a core community that really just enjoys hanging out, and there's kind of a vibe to these games. I don't know, people who fall in love with this game, you know, you log in and you kind of fall for it or you don't. It's definitely got quite a feel to it. It's very cutesy, adorable art style. It's something that you can really enjoy. But for me, the community's also been a great part of why I've always enjoyed this game as well. And I'm sure that there's an aspect to that for Puzzle Pirates. I think with the games like ours, where we've been around for so long, with limited updates, let's say, the only reason that keeps going on for as long as it is, you know, the games kind of hold a special part in our hearts, and the community bands together and you know, create spaces for people to hang out and make it worth the while in the long term. I will say, one of the things that I do know about Puzzle Pirates is that it's got a very thriving, at least from what I understand, merching side of the game. A lot of people, what I understand, merch in Puzzle Pirates. Spiral Knights definitely has an aspect of that as well. I'm not sure how it is in Puzzle Pirates. I know that Puzzle Pirates has a lot of items that go for limited time periods, so they'll expire after a while. Spiral Knights doesn't really have that. When you get an item, you pretty much have it forever. So that means that our merching community and the way that it works is a little bit different. It's definitely a case of items get released in, you know, we have like boxes with items that get sent out, and then people will buy those boxes up. We won't see those boxes for another 10 years or longer, or maybe never again. And so it's definitely a case of whoever has held onto those items for a long time, items get more and more rare in the community, and then prices eventually build up. So a lot of this game for merching is obviously the typical buy low, sell high. But there's also an aspect of how long you've spent in the game and how much you've acquired over time and how rare those items, you know, become as time progresses. Which means that it's not the most friendly to get into as, you know, as someone new who wants to be a merchant in this game. But it definitely rewards playing the long game and hanging around for a while. It's definitely something that you could log in, you know, once in a blue moon, and then log in 5 years down the track, and your items might be worth a lot. So make sure, if you have played this game in the past and you're coming back to it, if you've got any items that are sellable, just make sure that you're checking those prices, because you want to make sure that you're getting your money's worth. But yeah, we have an auction house here, which you can see people can trade over there. There's also zone chats, so there's like a /1 one to sell feet picks, let's say, and then people can trade in there. There's also two, which is the actual, I apparently haven't joined it. That's the merching channel. I was wondering, I haven't seen merching messages for a while. Want to buy feet picks, I guess. I don't know why I chose feet picks. Hey, there we go. Want to buy this? Someone else joined in on the fun. So yeah, there's a little bit of that. We definitely also have an online forums where people trade their items, and maybe I can trade. I'll trade with this guy. I'll just send him a. So here's an example of what a trading menu looks like. This poor person is going to think that I'm trading them, so I'll give them a Halo fur cap because I've got so many of them. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the merching aspect of this game a little bit, because I know that that's probably something that people might be interested in. Now, obviously, that's a very little synopsis of one aspect of the game, which is the merching. You can see a little bit of the community. I swear I did not set this up. I don't know what happened here. Someone's got a bucket of snow, and we're just throwing snowballs at each other, I guess. So, you know, people are having fun. It is quite late. I am based in Australia, so my time zones don't really match up with people, which is why you know, sometimes the Haven will be a bit more popular, a bit more full, but it's okay. I'll head over to the advanced training hall to show you guys a little bit of a showcase, I suppose, of the weapons and things like that. Obviously, there's quite a lot of weapons in this game. I've done, you know, some showcases. I'll show you guys some of the mechanics. So obviously you can swing your sword. There's like a chamber of swings that you have. So this sword is a 3-hit sword. And it has that pattern. And then you can also charge your weapons and release them for a super powerful attack. These weapons are all slightly different. Here's a gun, little soaker, with a charge attack as well. It's got little bullets, recall, recharge animation. Here's another gun. I love this gun sounds. Something so satisfying about the way that the gun sounds. And then also there are quite a few bombs in this game as well. So this bomb is pretty cool. It groups enemies together, which makes things very easy to kill, because it puts them all together for you. But there's quite a lot more weapons. I'll showcase some of the cool ones. Look at this little cold iron vanquisher. It looks very nice. This sword is epic. Epic. A little flourish. You know, you can do some quick hits. Quick little 1-2. We've got some heavy swords. So big chunky swings that you can feel the weight in. That's some of the swords. Let's go over some of the guns as well. You know, I showed you the Arcana and the little Soaker. There's also some of these like heavy weapons. This little big charge. There's some really cool animations on some of these with the charge attacks. This one shoots out like a little griffin. Look at this. Bam! I love that gun. So cool. There's this one. This is a very fun one. Neutralizer. You stack a bunch of bullets, and then you do your little charge attack. Bam! A big explosion. It's super fun. You can, because these little bullets do like 1 damage, if you go into some big areas with a lot of enemies, you can just stack bullets. I think they do time out maybe after like 2 minutes or so, but you can stack bullets for like a solid 2 minutes and then just have a massive explosion on your screen. It's a lot of fun. Bombs as well are pretty interesting. There's definitely quite a few different types of bombs that you can go through. This one, I would say, I'd call it a quick release. It's the 1 explosion and that's it. That's the damage. There's some bombs that kind of have a lasting effect. So this one kind of leaves these orbs which spin around. I just walked into spikes, don't worry about it. And there's also bombs like this, which is like a haze bomb, which drops and leaves a haze on the floor, and that'll inflict status effects on enemies. And then obviously there's a bunch of different armors as well. So you've got all these different types of sets that you can wear, different costumes as well. So I've got a few costumes kind of in the same set. Little cute little guy. I love this little Eepee. This is my peak costume. I love this big chunky one. I'm just showing off at this point. You guys might be interested. Little small one. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to school with this. You bring me back to my childhood. There's a bee kind of one, a hornet one. I'm a wizard, apparently. There's infinite amounts of sets. There's so many that you can do. And it's definitely an aspect of the game is like fashion nights is kind of what people call it. Basically playing the game just for the fashion itself. So there's a lot of avenues. I would say the main ways that you play this game is basically one, you get involved, not involved with the community, but if you're really a vibes-based person, you kind of just hang out in the Haven and you just, you know, talk to people, just chill there. It's really nice. The music is super relaxing. It's just good vibes overall. Or you do some missions, go for weapons, try to get all the different armory slots filled out. I want to go to the other Haven. I don't know. Where were all the people at? I lost all the people. There we go. It was Haven 3. So, yeah, basically you can also go down the route of building different armor sets, you know, trying to fight, that type of thing. Or you can go down the route of merchanting in this game and being a merchant. Speedrunning has kind of taken off in this game as well. There's definitely a speedrunning community and some like grinding aspects. So people hop in Discord calls and hang out with each other as they grind, you know, boss missions like this Banajuk mission. Just basically finding ways to make this game efficient and earn money as quickly as possible while playing the game. And it's just a lot of fun to play through as well. Something I did want to mention though, when you're coming back to this game or if you're starting this game fresh, just be mindful that a lot of the starter missions, this game is a little bit strange in the way that it does things. The starting missions are very, very easy, I would say. Super simple. So if you are starting the game and it's kind of like kid friendly, it feels like the start of the game is very targeted towards kids. I will say the game is not like that the whole way through. In my personal opinion, the start of the game is not that great. So if you're starting the game, you're like, oh, this feels very childlike. Trust me, the game does get more interesting and gets a lot more difficult. I raise that point because I do think some people start this game and they might not realize, you know, the depths of it. What I will show you guys next is a little bit more of an example of kind of the depths of this game. So I was mentioning that this game definitely has more of a vibe. It is a quite a vibe-based game. When you fall in love with this game, it's you know, there's aspects to it that draw you to it. One of those things for me is the story parts of this game. I think that they do little nuggets. It definitely feels like you're entering into a world, and there's not too much text, not too much that you need to follow through and follow along with, but there's parts of it that kind of immerse you into the world. The further you get into the game, the more it does that, the more interesting things are, and the more, I suppose, darker the story gets and darker that you know, it becomes. So what I thought I would like to show you guys through is one of my favorite missions. The Silent Legion. All right, so we are in the mission. I'm going to try to read out the introduction for this mission to give you a better sense of what's going on while also playing the game. We'll see how that goes. And you'll get a sense of what I mean by the story gets darker and more serious. Guardian Knight Arcus was one of the finest warriors serving the Spiral Knights until sometime shortly after the crash. As one of the first to search for the Alpha Squad, Arcus's own squad perished in a grisly battle with a horde of dust zombies. Since then, Arcus has blamed himself for their loss, saying that he betrayed the Guardian's oath to protect his squad. Arcus now journeys into the Clockworks alone, never risking the loss of another squad, and we believe somehow trying to find the squad he once lost. As these expeditions begin to appear self-destructive, Spiral HQ is issued him a direct order to seize. Arcus ignored these orders and has gone deep into the Clockworks and not returned. Not wanting to lose the last member of his squad, Spiral HQ is asking you to pursue his last known whereabouts, some kind of mysterious statuary at depth 26. And that's sort of where we are now. So I love this mission. It's very vibey, which I hope you get the impression of. And we are going to go find ourselves this knight, Mr. Arcus. It's a bit of a tragic backstory. Clear both sides. I really thought I'd make a little bit further progress, but it turns out reading while also playing the game and reading on like a second monitor is not the easiest. Let me do this. Grab this key. I'm just going to rush past these enemies. I'm just trying to save a little bit of time here. Here we go. Mr. Arcus himself. Have they sent you for me? To bring me back? No. I am where I belong now. I no longer serve the Spiral Order and will remain here. Leave this place and never come back. Leave me be. Now, obviously, as good knights of the Spiral Order, we are not going to leave him alone. It is our job to bring him back home. In whichever way we can. I could swear I heard them just now, their voices carrying in the wind. No longer screams, no longer cries, whispers. Indecipherable even in the stillness of this place. Are they leaving me here? Why must I be left behind? You. I warned you to not proceed, to stay away from me. Now you learn what they did, that those who are close to me die. A little bit grim. And yeah, it's a hard part of the game, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really remember how to beat this that easily. So, we're gonna see if my skills are up to the task. It's gone a little... It's very aggressive, what do I say? Oh god, it's not good. Wow, I'm gonna try to get these big charge attacks off. Oh. He does not like me, I'll tell you what. I have to pop some healing. That bomb does wonders. So I'm so much more quieter than I thought I'd be. This is a very difficult mission, I've got to say. Something about these spinning orbs always throw me really off. Okay, we got the next stage. There's going to be some more enemies spawning up here. Okay. So if you've ever played the start of the game and you're like, oh, this game's so easy. Like, what are we even doing? Just trust me. Like, this isn't even... The game gets more difficult than this, and this is already... As you can see, I'm struggling. I also play this game a lot, and not to town my own horn, I'm pretty good at the game. But this mission is particularly difficult. I've always found, at least. And also very tragic. We're kind of putting down a once great knight. An intense sadness radiates from his fallen form. His eyes fade and a darkness washes over him. Arcus is lost. Very tragic. I love the mood that this game is able to establish in some of these missions. There's something about stumbling on missions like this for the first time, and it just gives you such a foreboding sense, or it just really brings you into the game. At least it did for me. And you might find that there's a few missions like this, so if you do check out the game and get later in, it does get quite interesting. Now we're going to go over to some of the game updates that have happened over the past year. So if you've ever visited the game and you haven't played for a long time, we'll cover what has changed over probably the past 10 plus years of this game. All right, so I've tried to go through and make a timeline of the big updates that the game has had over the past years, at least the ones that mattered in my opinion. So we'll go from all the way in the beginning, April 2011, that's when the game released, moving over to July 2013. Probably the biggest thing that happened since the game release was that the elevator energy was removed. So back when the game first started, you actually needed to pay energy to go down each elevator, which you would receive like a daily cap of maybe like 5 to 10 elevators that you could go down. But once you've passed that limit, then you'd have to start actually paying. It was kind of like a battle pass thing in Spiral Knights. That pissed off a lot of people. That was removed in July 2013, so now you can actually go through the entire game for free without having to pay anything, and you're not stop-gated by any daily systems. So, pretty big change. September 2013, we had the Battle Sprites release, so if you haven't played the game since the game released, there are some new little pets. You might have seen me use those when we first Arcus. And then in December 2014, we had a massive gunner update that basically introduced some new armors, some new weapons, some new guns for the game, and changed a couple of the old ones as well. So that was a pretty big update to the game. In 2015, February to May, they added some new endgame missions. And then May 2016, we had the introduction of the Golden Slime Casino. It's basically just a little area where you can, casino your way in the game, just for a little bit of extra fun. Moving over to May 2017, they introduced some new arcade floors, which is the Starlight Cradle. It's a beautiful atmosphere in those. And then June 2019, I'm so sorry for the scuffed image, we had Treasure Vault got added. So it's basically a new mini boss to the game. So that's a lot of fun as well. And then we're jumping all the way from November, did I say? June 2019, sorry, all the way to December 2025. That's probably where we had our next big update. And this was a introduction of the Colosseum, Crucible, and Super Brawl, which was basically some old school PvP back in the day. Colosseum Crucible is probably the biggest thing in the history of these updates, which allows people to now create maps of their own. And I've got a little example here of someone who's made a map. I'll just play this video of me basically playing through. Shipwreck map. It is so cool. There's so much attention to detail. All of these little things, like, these are all props. It's a freaking ship. All the wood boards, by the way, he had to place them all manually. He, she, they. Sorry, I don't know their gender. I don't know, they. The banisters. Like, this is so much work, and it's very well detailed. Looks great. Look at the front of the ship. It's so nice. Little cog spinny wheels. Look at this. They have a hole in the ship that you can see through, and there's a key. Like, it's so sick. I thought it was an absolutely gorgeous map that this person created, and there are some other ones as well from the community. So it's a very cool feature and super exciting for the future state of the game. Next up, in February 2026, so not too long ago, we had an updated client release, and we also had Australian and Brazilian servers added to the game. So a bit more options for player bases, but really the biggest thing is that updated client release. Since the game came out, we've been on Java 6. Now we are all the way up to, I think, Java 21, so a lot more recent versions. It's basically future-proofing the game, making sure that we can stay around for much longer in the future. Obviously, these, I should know, you saw that gap from 2019 all the way to 2025. There hasn't been too much in that period, but now we are seeing a lot of updates. They've kind of been teasing this update for a while with the updated client release, and it looks like they're really putting in the hard work, because 2025 we had lots of updates. 2026 it's starting off strong, and the year has much more to go. Anyway, that's everything that I had to share with you all today. I hope you guys enjoyed this little segment. Shout out to Jazz for inviting me on, and shout out to all of you for joining in on this event and putting money towards the St. Jude charity event. It's really impressive what you guys are able to achieve, and I hope that I'm glad to be a small part of it. Thank you, Jazz. Thank you, everyone. I'm out.